Monday fun day, back for some more malarkey. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to go Paris-Roubaix this week. And if you remember, it's nothing like the real Paris-Roubaix because it's not flat and along cobbles. It's over the centre of the island and it has a big lump in the middle. Let's have a look at the course we've got going. We've done it before, and if you ride on indieVelo regularly, you will know all about this. So we come out of the velodrome, we go round the west side of the lake, over the top, that's the big lump in the middle, round South Lake, along the coast, and of course back up to the velodrome. So about the only thing I think that has in common with Paris-Roubaix is that it finishes in the velodrome. It also starts in a velodrome as well. It's all to look forward to. You can see the profile just above the map. This is the grey profile. And you can see it's relatively flat along the coastlines, little bumps as we go over past the lakes, but it's that big lump in the middle. You see it right in the centre of the island, the white patch, not the white patch in the bottom left of the island, but the one right in the centre, and that's over the sort of height of the island. If it were volcanic, I suspect the two peaks would be volcanic volcano mouths, I guess. Whatever the technical term for those is. You can tell that I'm not a geologist of any shape, manner or form. I am a cyclist, and we are at Monday Malarkey, West London's Monday Malarkey. Let's have a look at the state of play in the series at the moment. Electric Spirit leading the team competition. Razzia Racing just 100 points behind them. Zeb Norman really representing Electric Spirit at the moment. He's leading the general classification over there on the right. But some of the races he's the only rider, and it's the top two that decide where you're going to, how many points you're going to get. So consequently, if you only ride with one rider and Razzia Racing take two, they can make up that difference, 109 points different. Race 3 are probably a little bit off the mark now. And of course, in the Ladies League, Eileen Davison leading, Natalia Zetetfer from Petersburg, and Gail Robinson in third place for Twickenham Ladies. The best of six, Tim Humpton riding. He's done 6 rides, and we haven't seen him since. I think he's targeting the best of 6, but he's only 3 points ahead of his teammate from Electric Spirit, Zeb Norman. So if Zeb Norman can get a couple of good results before the end, he could pinch that one from Tim Humpton. Ladies teams, this is the exciting one. West London Ladies 416, Twickenham Ladies 367, all to play for. Not sure who's out tonight, but I think Gail Robinson definitely will be. I'm not sure who we've got out for West London. I've got a feeling that Angela's not out tonight, so relying probably on Aileen. Oh no, Aileen can't do it. She's got to. No, I think this is a great opportunity for the Twickenham Ladies. So let's go over to the start line. 19 seconds to go and see what we've got. 71 riders, a little bit down on usual, and all set to go. 11 seconds. Just counting down now, and let's see what happens. Don't forget, we've got the pacer bot on the front, and that is going to run for 1 kilometre. Now, as they come out of the velodrome, there is a downhill, and at that point, they can't brake. And what happens if you go next to the pacer bot, of course, your brakes will be slammed on and you'll be thrown backwards. Now, this is a bit awkward on a downhill, and it's I've got two choices. We're experimenting a little bit, and so here they go downhill. They're a bit too close to the bot. They're going to have to ease off, otherwise they're going to get pinged. And I think that rider and this rider now are going to get pinged. Now they can't brake, and they're going downhill. What I've done, and I might still change this, is make the bot go faster than normal. I've wound it up so that it ends up at 60, but they still can't brake, and that rider's going to suffer from that. So it's very, very difficult to sit on the bot on this downhill, and I think the amount of increase of speed I've done hasn't really solved the problem. So anyway, nobody's going to get too penalised by this, because they will stay in the same group that they're in, and hopefully not too much damage will be done. Everybody's sitting just off the bot at the moment. As I say, downhill it's difficult because you can't brake, but hopefully the bot, my thinking when I increased the spot speed was that the bot would be going fast enough to maintain the gap, and it looks almost like there's an OTR rider just off the back maintaining that. It's Gordon Jackson from Lancashire. Right, now they're through the Flam Blanc and off they go. So everybody for themselves now. They were right on the bot's tail. So you're going to get that big effort as everybody zooms off. But of course, hopefully, if you haven't been pinged back in the last 300 metres, the momentum's with you and you can stay with the group. As we go, flying down this hill, minus 2%, we're going to get on the coastline and then go around the coast. You can see this just heading down to the coastline. We're coming back up this for the finish. Remember, it's got those hairpins. It's not too steep. It's not. It doesn't need hairpins in the way that a very steep slope would do, but it's got hairpins all the same. But the gradient not too daunting on the way back. So heading northwards up the west coast of the island, we have Matt Hammond on the front for Ratio Racing. Ingmar van Beurs also in there for Ratio, and Jorge Santos currently off the front now, the Portuguese. We've got Sebastian Mattsson in there from Sweden, Matt Hammond. Matt Hammond we mentioned. Eugene Korolov back from St. Petersburg as well. Missed the last race and lost top spot in the series. Johan Peru there, and Stanley Gabriel all in this group. That's one of the Glasgow United riders going off the front. James Melville zooming off the front now, and he's got a gap of 1 second. I mean, we've got 19.7 kilometres to go. This is not going to be a break, of course. Raymond Hubli, Thierry Lafitte behind him. Rob Bickers in there as well. Richard Gate from Yorkshire. Who else we've got? Mike Murray riding for OTR. James Ogilvie in the top 10. Now, James is getting his form back, he tells me. So we're expecting great things from you, James. No pressure there. So we see the riders flying past once again. Now then, who else have we got in here? Johan Peru mentioned. Daniel Nurschber, delighted to see you up there. The German rider. Mike Lister in here for R3R. Riding again. Good to see you, Mike. Always a pleasure. Rob Bickers, Matt Hammond. So the top 10 is a little bunch that isn't really changing a lot, is it? Somebody's just going off the front there. Tony Martin Lake for OTR. Just as I said, it doesn't change. We get a few different faces on the front. It's commentator's nightmare, this, isn't it? All flicking around. Roman Hubli in there, we've mentioned. Nicolo Hiroto from ADR in there. And this bunch holding together quite well. I don't think you're going to see much change. Somebody's coming through in the black there and going off the front. It is Kjell Sørensen, the Danish rider. Nicky Hogard in there also. Two Danish riders. And I think they've just broken the record for the most riders in a race tonight. That's probably why we have got less Danes in here, because I know they've got all their Danish riders out for that. And very, warm congratulations. Well done, guys. As we see one of the Danes, Nicky Hogard, going off the front now, riding for Fiat, ahead of Johan Peru from France, from the Toulon area of Lake Geneva. And we got one of the pedallers off the front is Daniel Nurschber, the German now. Now, the effect of this, really, these turns on the front are not to break away. They're just to put pressure on the people at the back of the group. This is a large group, but make no mistake, this is going to splinter on that big mound in the middle of the island. And if you look down the bottom, you can see the yellow arrow, and this is always interesting, this bit. You get the split here, and I'm not sure to what extent riders choose it or they just go with the riders in front. They are equal distances where this splits, equal ascent, and I think it's a case of which group you get in. If you get in a faster group, you will get through it quicker. But it's in all other respects, it should be identical, even if the gradients do come at slightly different times. If you're watching a rider on the lower section here, you should be able to see the riders in the top section as they join up together again, but maybe not. No, look, he's got an advantage. Look at that. But I think the bunch is behind. If anything, the top group slightly ahead of the bottom group. So if you're at the back of the bottom group, you need to tuck in fairly quickly. Roman Hubli now, the Slovenian, off the front. He's ahead of Juris Nit, riding for Pedlars in the orange there, of course. I haven't seen Doug Hart in here. And Joris being caught now by the rest of the group. Looking back here, who we got? We've got Andrew Walker, who's just ridden the other race, I believe. Well done, Andrew. Thanks for turning out. One of my West London riders, as you can tell from the kit. He's got Gareth Brooks just behind him, another West London rider, in good company because they've got an OTR rider with them. Look at that. Thierry Lafitte is just behind RGT. I think when people put RGT down, I think it might mean, I'm not sure whether that's an actual club or they're just stating they're not actually in the club. Although that seems to be an official club, doesn't it? Because it's coming up on the data. So this nice little tidy group here, they should all work together. 4 of them, 2 West London riders, 1 OTR and an RGT. Top Jimmy is also a little bit further back. Hopefully Jimmy will come out all right. Now, that's a topical point because Jimmy's going to have to change his cycling style. And not that we like to wear these things on, but the new feature that came up in the last couple of races is basically that if you've got the wrong trainer and your pedalling style doesn't suit, you are going to get sticky watts. And Jimmy didn't realise this. He's found out and he's been practising smoother pedalling style to get round. So if Top Jimmy finishes, I want everybody watching to give him a big cheer at the end because he's had to adapt the way he pedals around the trainer he's got, and he had no idea. And it was only the fact that the new feature came up that it got highlighted. So well done, Jimmy. He's not going to be riding at his best because he's not riding in his most comfortable style. As you can see, as a couple of riders catch him up, hopefully he'll be able to sit on, and you see his chin going down to the handlebars there as he tries to tuck in, take advantage of that. And another West London rider in there in the just going through at the front, and that is, I'm just trying to think who that is. It's probably Andrew Walker, isn't it? Who we've already mentioned. So Brett Smith, sorry, I beg your pardon, Brett Smith's in there. It's Brett Smith from Slough. So I've got a little clutch of my own riders in there, so I won't talk all about my team. Lovely to see the Welsh kit in there. That is, of course, the one and only Wales's top ambassador, the one and only Craig Jones. Well done, good to see you. Mike Townsend in there too. What a nice little bunch that is, some great people in there. And this is what we like to see, these back groups and their own little sub races while the front guys battle it out at megawatts at the front. So we're about 15k left to go, and looking at the front section now, the batch is still quite a large group there. Iger Copsey in there, Horacio, Bjorn Ossenbrink in there, Nick Greenhalgh. He's obviously going to ride faster because he stocked up on goat curry, curried goat. As many of you have seen on social media, the pair of us went out and had a meal at a Jamaican lunch at a Jamaican restaurant. Well, I gave him medals and prizes for the Horacio team. We watch Bjorn Ossenbrink off the front at the moment. Johan Peru in second place, Nick Greenhalgh up there, the Curry Goat Man, Iger Copsey, Matt Hammond, Zeb Norman in there, of course. Zeb really in with a chance of of getting in with that series, the Six of the Best competition. Let's see how he can get on. Iger Copsey, Christophe Contant, great little chat on Facebook today. You would have seen some of the updates from indieVelo this morning. One of them was that they're going to have cut-off times. And this caused a little bit of confusion, which I think between Christoph and myself we sorted out. And essentially Tim Cummins going off the front there. And we basically, what it was, the results of races don't come out till the last rider finishes. And of course what happens is that if you've got a race with bots, which we don't, so it will never affect these races because we don't have bots. But essentially, if you have bots in the race, the results don't come up to the last bot finishes, and now that is going to be sorted out. John Sammet now up in this group. Good to see him. Pokemotion riding in there strongly as well. Eugene Korolov now could have won the series. I think it's probably just out of reach now because he missed that race. But the Russian rider on the front there, Tim Cummins with him, Johan Pro, Robin Hubley, Nick Greenhalgh, Seb Norman, John Sammet, as we've said, Christophe Contant from France, Iger Copsey, Wouter Clay's in here for Moon Riders, top man Sebastian Mattisson from Sweden, and Mike Lister in the group, of course. Arza Carroll in there as well, and off the front it's Iger Copsey now, the Horacio racing rider. He's got a couple of he's got one Electric Spirit. Electric Spirit is the orange and white, that's Ed Norman. The orange and black is a peddler, and that will be I'm just trying to think which one it is actually, but it'll be one of those. I think it's Christophe Contant, isn't it? Christophe Contant going off the front, riding for peddlers. So peddlers in the orange, Electric Spirit in the orange and white, Ratio in the black with the orange logo, and Johan Perot in the white for the Tonon Union Cycliste Tonon. He's just behind James Melville from Glasgow United, lives in Dumbarton. Wonderful place to live. It's just south of Loch Lomond. So in one direction you can go into Glasgow for everything that it has to offer. You go in the other direction and you start entering the Scottish Highlands, and they are magnificent, let me tell you. Ratio Racing taking it up off the front with Ruben Hubley on Nick Greenhouch's wheel. In fact, it's the other way around now. They've switched over. Jorgen van Ber's also up there for Ratio. Sebastian Mattisson. All this 59 more. We've still got 69 riders on here, so that'd be 68 finishers, I think. And numbers still good. Not many Swedes in, not many Danes in here today, because I think they're all off doing their own little race today. Wouter Clay's in the top group as well. Now they're on the hill. It's 9%, and you can see everything slowing down. And this is where the race is going to get attritional. We see Zeb Norman going off the front for Electric Spirit. I've only seen one Electric Spirit rider in here, which again gives Ratio the chance in the team's competition. Christophe Contant now lives just outside the Massif Central and Clermont-Ferrand. He's got mountains on his doorstep. Will it show in this? Come on, Christophe, you're doing very well. And just right on cue, he goes into the lead. As we see the map here, they've gone round the west coast of the island. They've gone inland, they've gone round the lake, and now we are going up over the big climb. So down the other side, of course, we will go around the South Lake, then along the coast. Then that's a short climb up to the velodrome. Christophe Contant, as I say, he lives just by the mountains, the Massif Central, the volcanic range of mountains that goes down the centre of France. A very beautiful area it is too. We're looking back at PJ at the back for Twickenham, and he's with Andy Evans, West London and Twickenham riding together there. Haven't seen the ladies yet, so interested to see, but I think Twickenham are going to have the big advantage this week. I know that Eileen Davison can't ride, and equally Maria Vitsky can't ride, so I think West London might be very light of lady riders, and this could be good for Twickenham. Just look at them crawling up at this 8% in this one. There's Natalia. As I tell you, Francis Chalmers just in front as well. Natalia from St Petersburg, and very much in the ladies' competition as well. She's not, her legs aren't moving, which is a bit odd. There's Gail Robinson as well, and that will be good news for Twickenham. They could pick up some good points there. If Lisa West is in the race too, this could be the moment for them. And I think Gail is on top form. She won the ladies' race last time out, so look out for her. She's just about to catch up with Brett Smith, South African riding for West London. Lives in Slough, just outside West London. And Gail's going to steam past Brett. Look at this. She is on fine form, isn't she? Look at that as she goes on. This is on the right-hand side of your screen. We're looking at Christophe Contant, and he's eked out quite a gap at the front. The man who lives near the mountains has been in training. Zeb Norman now is a full 6 seconds behind, as is Johan Perot from Tonon. Now, Tonon itself is right by Lake Geneva, so I would expect him to have Johan to be quite good at mountains. He's got some very big ones on his doorstep. I know, because I've cycled some of those. And the two Frenchmen, maybe mountains suit them a lot. They're about 2/3 of the way up the mountain now, and we're looking at Wouter Clay's Moon Riders, the Belgian rider, and he's just gone past Christophe Contant, just losing it there. And Johan Perot, like I said, from Tonon, which whilst it's on the shores of Lake Geneva, you only have to go a few miles inland, and you've got some massive mountains. Places like Morzine, not far from him, you're on to some classic French alpine climbs, and even the Italian border and Swiss border not far away. So I'm sure Johan is very, very accomplished at climbing. He's not far off the top of the mountain. 9-10%. This is what you'd expect sort of French Alps to be at most of the time, at least the ones that feature in the big races. So this will be comfortable territory for Johan, I think. Christophe Contant still holding his own and not out on his own. we're currently looking at Nick Greenhalgh fighting to stay on, but I think Nick will, and the descent and the rest of the race will suit Nick. He's not far off. He's close enough. This will suit him. 363 watts. Cadence of 50. It's uphill. Heart rate 160. Holding it nicely. 7th position. He's not out of this at all. The descent and the rest of the race will suit him. He's about to go past Roman Hubli from Slovenia, which also had some mountains in it. So we've got the best climbers in these groups, and the gap's back. You see John Sammet 36 seconds away. Eugene Korolov at 31 seconds. Joris Nit at 31 seconds. So this group a good half a minute in front of anybody behind them. So Wouter Claes is current leader, but he's got Johan Peru on his wheel. Zeb Norman, James Melville, again, as I say, lives just south of the Scottish Highlands. All of these guys will know how to climb. The front four looking good. This is Matt Hammond we're looking at now. John Sammet just behind him in the orange and black for Pokemotion. So many clubs using orange. And he's being chased by Argo Copsey and Jorgen van Beurs now with Stevie Cooper, the other Glasgow United rider. Now, I haven't seen Alistair McAlpine, but this little group could have a little bit of a tussle. They are quite a way behind the groups in front, though. So this is fragmenting, but it's nicely fragmenting into little groups, and we have some nice little sprints and things at the finishing line. Looking forward to this. John Sammet for Pokemotion now. A little bit of a gap, a 1 second gap, but that's not going to hurt too much. And Nick Greenhalgh and Roman Hubli catch up with these front four. Still on 2%. We can see the barriers. They're going to go through the barrier. This is the top of the ascent, and then it's downhill and relatively flat to the finish. I mean, there are a few little small ramps to deal with. Now, it's Roman Hubli and Nick Greenhalgh. They need to get onto that group to make it a 6. And there's one rider just behind them. Looks like a peddler's rider as well. The front guys on the descent. The four sticking together. They have got about 3 seconds on Nick and 5 seconds on Christophe Contant, 7 seconds Eugene, and it is down to Christophe Contant, so it's about the top 7 that we're looking at. You can see visually the gap isn't too big, although Roman Hubli and Nick Greenhalgh now 2 seconds behind. Christophe Contant making up time though, and I think actually Nick and Roman are going to get on that group, and I think Christophe Contant can still do it too. So I think we're going to be back into a 7 at the finish. Just waiting for Christophe to get on that group. James Melville, the current leader, as they descend now, -5% with... we've got... this is Christophe Contant. He's... I don't know, he's still got 7 seconds on the other group. He hasn't made it. You can just about see them on the horizon, but it's... I think that's going to be a tough call now, isn't it? He's 7 seconds, not really making it up on the descent. The only thing I'll say, they'll get on the flat while he's still rolling down, so he might make a couple of those seconds out. In fact, it's sort of teetering on 8 seconds. Christophe may have just lost this on the descent, which is a real shame because he's in no man's land now. He's 25 seconds ahead of Eugene Korolov, but in no man's land, and it's quite hard doing this on your own. You never know quite how to pace yourself. You're looking at the people behind, the people in front. Can you make it up or not? It's going to be hard work on your own, that is for sure, and I don't think Christophe is going to get back on, which is a real shame. So we're down to the front 6 now, battling it out as they go down to towards the South Lake, and you'll see that they're nearly at the bottom of the big lump, and then they get down into the lake basin. There's a little lip of a climb to get back out of the lake. I don't know whether Christophe might just be able to make some time up on the flatter bits later. We'll have to see. But the front guys now coming down to the lake zone, and let's see what transpires. I think you're probably getting a little bit of an attack when they're coming out of the lake basin. We'll have to see how that plays out. There's the lake. They're down at the South Lake now. They're at the bottom of the big climb. There's a slight, as I say, little lip coming out there. And 0% at the moment, the front guys. And suddenly it's 1% as they move away from the shores of the lake. And let's have a look how they're going. This is Christophe Contant. and he is now 9 seconds off, not going to make it. We've got Tour de Monde coming up in January, so let's have a little look at that as well. These guys enjoy the lake, and then we'll be back in time for the finale of the race. So ECKD on Wednesday as well we'll be commentating on, so look out for that one. Let's have a little bit of a stream. Here's Tour de Monde, and this is 12 stages in January. You all know it because it used to be on RGT, and I'm sure you're all going to be there supporting it in January. 12 stages on indieVelo Island. Great, all sorts of competitions in there, as you'd expect. Coming from the OTR guys, you just know it's going to be good, isn't it? So let's have a look. Christophe Contant now is probably not content as he is in no man's land. He needs to make sure he doesn't get caught by Eugene Korolov behind, and we'll have to see how that one plays out. Meanwhile, we've got Johan Peru putting the pressure on the front. James Melville taking a little bit of a turn. And the front six staying together again. I'm wondering if, well, I don't know, they all look. Wouterklee's off the back, but he won't suffer. So don't forget, Wednesday night we'll be doing the ECKD race. So look out for that one, 7 o'clock UK time. We can have a little preview of that as well. These are the guys, and well done to them for breaking the record earlier on this evening with their own ECKD race for Danish riders earlier this evening. Well done, guys. Terrific result. Absolutely smashing. We'll be with you on Wednesday, back at the ECKD Wednesday night regular race. So off to the front, Johan Peru is still on the front as just before we went to the advertising break. He's got Roman Hubli, Wouterklee, James Melville, Nick Greenhalgh and Zeb Norman. This is a all-star stellar front group, and it's going to be played out, I think, right up to the finish. I would say now, I try to do this in all our races and try and kind of guess who'll play what. Now, Wouterklee's definitely, Nick Greenhalgh, Zeb Norman, all riders. Oh, and Christophe Contant is now 26 seconds behind. But for him, though, the good news is he's holding out. He's 28 seconds ahead of Eugene Korolov, so he's still got almost a half a minute on Eugene. And Christophe Contant now out of the running for the front 7 places. Well, he might actually, he's not out of the running for 7th, is he? He's still very much in the running for 7th, but certainly not the. He's not going to be in the little sprint at the end. Now, will this be a sprint in the end? When will people go? Now, I've gone on about there is this little climb out of the lake. There is a gradual climb up to the finish, and we know this because it goes back up to the velodrome. It goes round those hairpins, but it's not very steep. And all of the riders in this group are more than capable of coping with that gradient. So I don't think the gradient itself is going to be a factor in how this front 6 works. I think that there will be an attack on the last hairpin. I think that's the sort of place you get up there in a group and you just kind of, you still got the legs, you know it, and you go for it. And you got the last little bit of the ramp, and you get onto the velodrome. You've got half a lap and it's straight. And if you've got a gap and you've got the legs, any one of these riders should be able to hold the gap. If they haven't quite got the legs and somebody else has got better legs, a catch on the velodrome is possible, and I think nobody waits for the velodrome. In the few months we've been doing indieVelo, it's been all about getting away on just before the last. I say the last hairpin. There is another bend after that, but I think it's the last hairpin as opposed to the last bend where you usually see the attacker fly off. I mean, if they don't on that bend, it certainly is at the second bend before they actually get into the velodrome. That's been the experience. That's what we've seen. Are we expecting it today? Every one of these riders in this front group capable of winning this race. Every single one of these six is very capable of winning this race. Very hard one to call. I think I am going to pick Wouterklee. I don't have a big hunch that Wouter is the guy who will win it, but that's just going to be my first pick. I think might go for Zeb Norman after that, and Nick Greenhalgh after that. That would be probably my little flutter if I was having it on 3. James Melville, I think, might try and go earlier than that if he can. And it's interesting that James is deliberately sitting on the back here. He's not expending too much energy. I think he will go earlier than the rest and see if he can pull away. Johan Peru, I don't know Johan quite as well as some of the other riders, and I might be underestimating him. And I was very told off during the week for underestimating one of the Danish riders the other night. I didn't particularly know that well, and I was then given his his Palmares, and I shouldn't have left him out of my predictions. Nevertheless, it's Wouter Claes at the moment. 3.9 kilometres to go. Wouter is not looking to win the race here. What he might be doing is looking to see who he can drop out of the group. 46 kph. They're on the flat, of course. They're still down by the coast. You can see the yellow arrow in the bottom corner, and it's causing a little bit of damage here, isn't it? It's fragmented it. 3 at the front. James Melville and Roman Hubley at the back. I wouldn't have expected James to get dropped there, and I don't think he'll be too happy about that. Front 4 back together again. Nick Greenhalgh, Johan Peru, Wouter Claes and Seb Norman. Have they dropped Roman and James? I don't think so. I think they'll make it up, and I think the gap is closing. Roman certainly is going to make that up, and James is close enough on the wheel to make it up. So the 6 is back together, and as I say, I'd be very surprised if those 2 got dropped anytime soon. Last kilometre when we're on the slope, maybe, but not on this flat bit. Still on the flat bit. Look at the yellow arrow at the bottom. When we get past where it says 20 kilometres, that's the sort of place where we're going to start climbing, and that's where it will become interesting. So it's James Melville off the front. Oh, it's not actually. Stevie, that's confused me because we've gone to Stevie Cooper, who's another Glasgow United rider. He's sitting behind John Sammet. John Sammet's a rider I quite often expect to be up there. Stevie Cooper in the light blue and dark blue jersey at the back of this little group is 14th. So you can see this, if you take out, obviously we've got Christophe Contant in the middle, but this group is going to fight out those sort of places. Stevie just losing a bit of ground now. Jorgen van Beurs in there, Matt Hammond for Ratio Racing, Joris Snit for Pedalers, John Sammet, a very fine rider, didn't make the front group this time round, but nevertheless, a strong rider. Now this group have got 43 seconds on Daniel Nurschba, and I think Stevie Cooper might just be losing the group. He's lost 2 seconds there. I have a Copsey in this group as well for Racian Slovenian as we go back to the front group. And Christophe, no we don't, sorry, Christophe Contant's in this group now. So he's not out on his own, is he? This is Christophe now. Christophe has actually been passed by these guys. He needs to get on that group, and I think maybe the fatigue might have set in, and he might have just sort of like eased up a bit by being on his own. He's making sure though, whether he got caught out or he didn't, he's responded and he joins that group. So we have 2 Pedalers riders in there, Joris Snit and of course Christophe Contant. Christophe tucking in, and he'll probably like the respite of getting back in that group, but it's about to go uphill. We are going to turn inland shortly for the velodrome. Here's the turn inland. It's not a steep climb, as I say, but it's gradual. We go back to the front group, 1.6 kilometres to go. This is where it's going to explode, and they're going up the hill now, 3-4%. It's Johan Peru, the man I said I didn't know too well and shouldn't underestimate. He hasn't really shaken anybody off, and it's Roman Hubley coming through at the moment. Wouter Claes very much in contention in the grey jersey. James Melville, who a moment ago looked like he was off the back, now powering up this, and the rider behind is which one we've got behind? So 1, 2, 3. We've lost somebody here, haven't we? It's Nick Greenhalgh has lost. So one of my predictions has gone already. Said Norman. No, there's Nick. He's not out of it, is he? Look, that's 1 second. It's not going to hurt him. 1.1 kilometres to go. We're about to go through the Flamme Rouge. You just see it poking above the horizon there. Nick not quite getting back on the group as we hit the Flamme Rouge. And as I say, this is that last hairpin. This is where I'd expect the attacks. This is where we've seen it before. And if anything, it looks like Zeb Norman really firing up to get away from the others. But coming from the back, there hasn't been the breakaway I predicted. Got it wrong again. And the 5 of them, it's only Nick Greenhalgh that's fallen out of the group. 3 seconds. Nick not going to make that. I think James Melville sitting at the back is probably not the fastest sprinter out of these. and he's probably not going to do this, although he's coming around the back now, and if he times it just right, he could fly by, but I think he's on the wheel, and it looks like Zeb Norman going off the front now. Wouter Claes teeing up to chase. He's not going to do it. It's Roman Hubli, Wouter Claes, James Melville taking 5th, Johan Peru, Nick Greenhouse slightly off the back, getting 7th, and that was a fantastic finish there by Zeb Norman. And there's still a lap. I got that wrong, didn't I? I wasn't even looking at the meters. Sorry, it's a whole lap, isn't it? Oh well, it's Roman Hubli that's going to take it, and Wouter Claes and James Melville 3rd. Sorry, didn't I mess that one up? Sorry, I do beg your pardon. And Zeb Norman having it settled for 4th after I thought he'd won. It's Joris Nick coming in for Pedlars. I'm sure in the other race we only do half a lap, don't we? So I'm mixing up my courses. So anyway, that's Joris Nick coming in for Pedlars. Stevie Cooper for Glasgow United is going to be after him. 300 metres, there's a whole lap to go now for Joris Nick, as we've just discovered. John Sam at 7 seconds behind. He's not going to make that up in a half a lap of the velodrome. As I say, I suppose I should know this as well, because Paris-Roubaix itself is a lap and a half of the velodrome, isn't it? And of course, not half a lap. So, as I say, there's another course on here where you only do half a lap. And in fact, if you ever do the Paris-Roubaix Sportive, you will only do half a lap because they can't have everybody on there at once. As we watch John Samet coming in for Pokemotion, just beating Christophe Contant there, who was so long on the front. Watching Matt Hammond coming in for Ratio Racing, he's just ahead of Stevie Cooper for Glasgow United. And I know I've got to be careful to work out who's where on which lap, haven't I? Having got that one wrong. As I say, if you ever do the Sportive of Paris-Roubaix, you just do half a lap, and obviously they can't have thousands of Sportive riders all going around and losing track of where they are, and of course when they cross the finishing line the timer will bleep, but as I say, the real race is of course a lap and a half. I should know because I've been there and watched it. Anyway, we're now watching Bjorn Ossenbrink and Daniel Nurschber, and WWV is Bjorn's team, and he is ramping it up, and he's just going to lose out to Daniel Nurschber. So the two Germans there, it's Daniel Nurschber for Pedlars, just in the lead there. They've still got 400 metres to go as they go past some of the Finnish riders, and it's Bjorn now has lost a second on Daniel, so Daniel is going to take this, or is he? Bjorn just ramping it up now, and on the final bend Daniel is likely to lose his lead because Bjorn is absolutely powering past as they come into the home straight, and Bjorn now taking that just when he looked like he'd lost the gap on Daniel. He caught it up, so well worth having this lap in the velodrome, isn't it? As we watch Sebastian Madison ahead now of Tim Cummins, Tony Martin late for OTR, and Daniel Ermia. I'm not sure what the flag is actually, and Tim Cummins coming last in that one after Sebastian and others. Nice to see these two riders. Jakob Hivid for ECKD is just easing himself past by Arthur Harrier. They have still got they've still got a whole lap to go, I should say, and it is the ECKD rider Jakob Hivid now powering away as they pass somebody who's stopped on the velodrome. As they do this final lap, we see quite a few riders now. Just sort of, you can see some people have got the legs and some haven't. Jakob Hivid, he's ahead of Rudy Garcia, ahead of Nicola Pivito and Arza Claudio. And it's Jakob Hivid taking that group lead, and Rudy Garcia coming in next. Arza Claudio just taking that one ahead. So some great racing on the velodrome. Who have we got? James Ogilvy, the one and only, the OTR man, bringing you Tour de Monde in January, of course, finishing. Peter Austin from Leatherhead coming in next. Also, the Emar Van Bart's two OTR rows. They good together, the kits. Mike Lister is just behind Tobias Bjork, and this is Rob Bickers, who's easing in, not quite sure. Oh, and he gets picked at the line, doesn't he? No, yeah. I'm not sure quite why he stopped pedalling, but he did indeed stop pedalling. So as we watch Sylvester Gary's coming through. He's still got a lap to go, 500 metres. Watching Mike Lister now. He's got 300 metres to go in the R3R kit there. Coming round, the man from Devon, coming round the last bend. A nice blue sky, and I bet he's got nice blue skies down in Devon compared to us up in smoky London. So it's all feel like being at home as he comes home. Well done, Mike Lister, piling at home ahead of David Jones will be the next rider to watch coming in. Here comes David coming in now. Tobias Bjork, we seem to have missed out because we've gone back to Salvador Carosu from ADR. And this one is Nicky Hogard, Kristen Edge. And I think the Danish riders will have done their patriotic thing and gone for their record today. But I think there's a few have just come out just to pick up whatever points they can in this race tonight. And well done, and thank you for that. It's great to see you all. We're watching Kjeld Sorensen now coming in for FIAC. He's ahead of Clive Byam for OTR, Andrew Walker for West London, Stanley Gabriel, Mike Townsend, Gordon Jackson, all in there, George Santos, Gail Robinson. Is she the First Lady? And I think she may well be. That will be a second win on the trot if she gets that. And that's going to be big for Twickenham ladies. Clive Byam for OTR now. We look over the results. Arza Cowdill was 23rd. Nicola Pivito from ADR was 24th. James Ogilvie 25th, as we saw Peter Austin, his teammate just behind him at 26th. Ingmar van Berza all the way back there in 27th, unfamiliar territory for him. 28th for Rob Bickers, beating Tobias Bjork into 29th place. So we watch Kjeld Sorensen coming in now. And this is Andrew Walker for West London, just going past the OTR rider, but they've still got 260 metres to go. Somebody, one of the back markers joins it. So the rider in with the green stripe down is a lap behind, but it's Clive Byam powering off for OTR in front of Andrew Walker. Andrew's sort of putting his nose down now, trying to make the catch, but he's not going to. Clive Byam's got that. Very powerful, great finish, Clive. Bad luck, Andrew. And the other rider going round is not part of that group. Gets a bit confusing. Stanley Gabriel coming in now for Electric Spirits. They have got two riders in. Fantastic. So that will keep them. That'll be good for them, keeping those points tallies up. Mike Townsend coming in here now with 280 metres to go, overtaking one of the other riders now. Presumably somebody on the first lap of the velodrome, as Mike Townsend powers round and again overtaking another rider, but I don't think the other rider's about to finish. I think the other rider has either finished and keep riding, or he's actually still on the first lap. So well done, Mike. Good finish there. Gordon Jackson for OTR now, in just getting beaten by George Santos. This is Mike Murray, another OTR rider. Great to see them all in the race today. And as you can see, it gets a bit confusing because on the side it says Wouter Clays is next. We know he's finished. But here's the important rider. Look at this. 0.6 to go, so she's got another lap to go. But it looks like Gail Robinson is going to win the ladies' race. 40th was Clive Byam, 41st Andrew Walker, 42nd Stanley Gabriel, 43rd Mike Townsend, 44th George Santos. Gordon Jackson, the all-star man from Lancaster, was 45th. Mike Murray for OTR at 46th. We're watching Gail Robinson, and I think she's heading for her second win in a row in the Ladies' Championship. This could put her in a good place to win perhaps the Ladies' Championship, but it's certainly going to be a big day for Twickenham ladies. I think they may well overtake the West London ladies in the ladies' teams classification today, with so many absentees from West London and Gail winning the race. This is a major turnaround in that competition. Gail firing home now. She's certainly on form. Well done, Gail. Fantastic finish for Twickenham ladies. So, who else have we got next? Here we have Jan Lankar Hansen. Jon Hansen, sorry. Nice. Thanks for contacting me earlier today, Jon. That was great to hear from you. And good finish. Thanks for riding both races as well. So, that is Jan finishing here. There we are. So Craig Jones, and we always have to give Craig Jones a big mention for the big kit. It was somebody on social media saying, where do you get these Welsh kits? You can figure them yourself. Gareth Brooks just being beaten by Chris Novy there as they come in. Well done, Gareth. We're watching Andrew Street coming in for OTR. Wicked team. He's ahead of Thierry Lafitte. And if we go back to Thierry, he's running for RGT. I'm not sure quite what that team is. So 45th was Gordon Jackson. Mike Murray was 46th. Gail Robinson, 47th, First Lady Home, I believe. 48th, Jan Hansen, the man behind ECKD. And he beat Craig Jones. Chris Novy just pipping that point away from Gareth Brooks, who had to settle for 51st. Andrew Street coming in for OTR Wicked now. 200 and just over 200 metres to go to the finish as the camera swings round and we see the finishing line with the Monday Malarkey arch going over the top. So I'm sure Natalia Zetsiva is coming up next. So I'm pretty sure Gail won the ladies' race and Natalia coming in second. But that will still be good. This is Thierry Lafitte with 300 metres to go. I'm sure Natalia is absolutely going to be piling up the ladies' standings. Doesn't ride for a team and not going to affect the ladies' team championship. But I think she's in good stead now. And between Eileen Davidson, Natalia and Gail Robinson, I think it's going to be quite a tussle for that ladies' championship. Remember, the ladies' championship individually is on your best 6 rides, so it doesn't matter if you miss a ride. In the ladies' team championship, it does. Your top 2 riders count. I don't think West London are going to get any points tonight, so that's all good for Twickenham. Thierry Lafitte coming in there as we watch Natalia now taking second place in the ladies' race, as far as I'm aware. Sometimes we miss riders and I get this wrong, but I don't think I have tonight. Natalia will take second place in the ladies' race. Interesting, her legs don't move, but I'm not quite sure why that is. But anyway, there it is. The Russian lady from St. Petersburg coming in next. Pedro Bartolomeu is next for OHSP Portuguese, and he's just ahead of Bruno Pereira, 2 Portuguese. 48th was Jan Hansen, as we saw. Craig Jones was 49th, Chris Novy 50th, we know that. Gareth, he just beat Gareth Brooks. Andrew Street for OTR Wicked, and Thierry Lafitte 53rd, and Natalia 54th. As we watch Brett Smith coming in, the rider from Slough, riding for West London. Well done, Brett. Great to see you. And we're watching now John Rogers, who seems to be not pedalling but still moving. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. This is a very slow speed, and I just wonder if there's some sort of momentum from a dropout going on here. But I think he's going to cross the line, albeit he might. This is agonising. Yes, he's made it. John Rogers just gets over the line, and we're watching Oliver Duckwitz, and he not pedalling means you've got no cadence sensor. I'm told. I didn't know that. I just assume. Anyway, I'll have to find out more about that, won't I? Olivier Duckwitz now coming in. He's still got a lap to do, remember. Remember, I was getting a little bit confused earlier on with who was on what lap. John Rogers coming up into the listings there at 58th behind Brett Smith up 57th. Olivier now going around. Yuri Kalin, he's 12 seconds behind him. He's got Eugene Bergin, I think. I'm not sure whether it's got an Irish flag, isn't it? I'm not sure if that's a Jean or Jean, but let's say Jean Bergin sounds French to me with an Irish flag. Your guess is as good as mine. Come on. He's just ahead of Andy Evans. In fact, he's quite way ahead. He's a minute ahead of Andy Evans. PJ from TCC, Migu Canada in there. Steve Millward, who had nothing funny to say this week, and that's not an insult. He actually wrote it. He said he couldn't think of anything funny to write on social media this week, but any publicity was good publicity. Here's your publicity, Steve, mate. You're getting it. Because you're funny when you haven't got anything funny to say. So is that good? That's brilliant, yeah? That's really good. Jean Bergen. Another lady rider. So that's fantastic. It is a Jean, isn't it? Jean Bergen. So it is an Irish lady. In Irish green, of course. Why wouldn't you? A fantastic kit. We love that. Well done, Jean. So And I see that I think Lisa Snell's riding for West London, so we will pick up a few points. So we're not dead yet, Twickenham. So Yuri Kalin now he's just stopped there, and I think he's 61st out of 67. Not quite sure why he's not riding, but maybe he's got a drop out or something, or maybe he's just gone to answer the door to get back on his bike. This is Andy Evans just coming into the velodrome now. He's 62nd, and if Yuri doesn't start pedalling, although he's 40 seconds ahead, Andy could nick a place here. PJ just behind him, the Frenchman riding for Twickenham. Here's Yuri. He started pedalling again, and with 90 metres to go, there is absolutely no chance that Andy Evans is going to catch him, is there? So that's anyway. That's that's that. Yuri Kalin coming in now. Andy Evans with a lap to go will enjoy sauntering around the velodrome, safe in the knowledge that PJ from Twickenham is a minute or so behind him and not going to catch him. However, PJ needs to take care. He's got a Canadian just behind him in the shape of Miguel Canada, who's way ahead of Steve Millward. Lisa Snell a long way off. We will go back and watch Lisa. I don't know if we'll watch her finish all the way. Lisa does not like climbing, and the fact that she's entered this race at all, I think, is absolutely fantastic. So well done, Lisa, for being in here. We will give you a little bit of coverage in a minute. We'll watch Andy finish first. Andy Evans up front there, bushy near Watford. He lives in, rides for West London. Of course, you can tell by the kit. And he's coming in to finish in the velodrome. Well done, Andy. We didn't actually get to see whether or not Top Jimmy finished, did we? So I don't know if Top Jimmy got pulled out or not, or actually finished. I didn't see him finish, so I'm just wondering if he kind of got kicked out again. Let's see if I can find anything on here. Yeah, Top Jimmy got kicked out. So again, not smooth enough. Yeah, he gave a couple of digs and got pulled out. So Top Jimmy not quite perfecting the smooth pedalling yet is the news, as he's telling me on WhatsApp. So yeah, got kicked out again. I think certain trainers and certain trainers are probably not good to have. If you can pedal if you pedal in style is stop start, you got the wrong trainer, it won't work. And I'm afraid Jimmy, it might be easier to buy a new trainer. Might not be easier on the wallet, of course. Black Friday's just disappeared, isn't it? And anyway, that's PJ from Twickenham then coming in for the last lap. Miguel Canada is 18 seconds behind. I think PJ's just pulled enough out to hold on to that position. He'll finish 63rd. And as I say, Miguel's not going to make up 18 seconds in half a lap of the velodrome. In fact, he's probably got more than half a lap. PJ with half a lap to go. Steve Millward is, as I say, a man with a sense of humour. We like Steve, and he likes to post something up most weeks about how last he's going to be. Well, you're not quite last, Steve. You're still in. You're beating the camera and you're beating Lisa, so it's you're not quite last, Steve. You'll have to try harder. Post-race greetings today, Dave. Great hearing your voice to calm the heart rate down. Yoris Knit, thank you, Yoris. I've never heard anybody say that my voice calms the heart rate down, but I'll take that one. Thank you very much, Yoris. That's brilliant. Miggy Canada now we're watching. I like that. I hope your heartbeat's calming down, Mickey. Just listen to me. It will be good. Frederick Foulon, thanks for the likes, comments. I don't see you in the race, Frederick, and I hope I didn't miss you out. But back from illness, hard one for me today. I don't think we saw you on the camera, but thanks very much for being here today. If you were, Frederick, I'll certainly look out for you in the results. Yeah, as you say, if you're coming back from illness, these things can be quite hard. They do clean out the lungs a bit, don't they? It's 38th, yes. We missed that. We missed that one, didn't we? And Cole Sorensen. Oh, you were just ahead of Oliver Bryan, weren't you? I think the camera flashed back to Oliver. Great stuff, Frederick. Belgian rider. Can't wait. I'm going to Belgium next July for cycling. I love cycling in Belgium. Here he is Steve Millward. He enjoys being last, enjoys the publicity, he likes a laugh, and we like Steve. He's actually got 1.2 kilometres to go. He's just about, you can see the Flamme Rouge, the two red bits sticking out above the thing. Here's Lisa. She's still on the coast, so she's got the climb up to the. Haven't seen Lisa for a few weeks actually, so I hope she's well. So I haven't seen her out riding in real life or online. So I hope everything's all right. I think it is. I think I'd know if there was anything happening. She comes from a great family down in Greenford in West London, the Snell family, full of accomplished cyclists, shall we say, not least husband and son, or one of her sons, I should say, who also does photography, cycling photography. So very talented young lad, and works for one of the major cycling companies, specialised as it happens. So cycling in very much in the blood of that family. As we watch the one and only Steve Millward going through the Flamme Rouge. Let's have a look at the top 10 and see, just have a look at that and probably see Steve finish, and then we'll finish with a little view of Lisa. So Roman Hubley just taking it in the end. Wouter Clay's not getting there, and where are all my predictions? Oh, I got that one wrong, didn't I? So Roman Hubley, Wouter Clay's who I did predict second. James Melville, who I didn't think would, did. Johan Peru I didn't know about. Zeb Norman I predicted. Nick Greenhouse 5th and 6th out of a group of 6. So I got that one totally wrong. Joris Nit, who's just been on there, was 7th ahead of John Sammet. Oh, sorry, I don't even think I shouted that out. It all happened so quickly. Christophe Canton was 9th. Jorgen van Beurs. Great stuff, Joris. And thank you very much for contributing with a little post on here. And hope your heart rate's probably sort of like, 40. Your resting heartbeat's 40. But only because you heard my voice, right? Is that right? I'll take it anyway. That is absolutely fantastic. We'll have a last look at Lisa and then wrap things up. We'll be back Wednesday evening doing the ECKD race. Congratulations to ECKD on a fine turnout. There's Steve Millward finishing. And no, it's not. He's got another lap. I did it again. Sorry about that. So let's watch Steve Millward do the last lap with Lisa on the right-hand side. Lisa is probably about to turn inland. She's got quite a way to go still. So she won't have liked that climb. That would have not been her cup of tea at all. The thing about Lisa is she does not give up. I'm just telling you, if she's decided to do it, she is going to finish, and that's what will happen. And we're very grateful at West London because all our riders were out. If you haven't heard, very, very sad news in the case of Maria Vitsky. Her husband had a cycling accident, so she's at the hospital, and it's quite a bad one. I think he's all right, but it's not good. So she's at the hospital, keeping him company. Eileen Davison heard again somebody in hospital, so she's having to do some family chores. So we're a little bit light on riders. There is Steve Millward finishing. Here's Lisa, still on the coast. She's got 4.8 kilometres to go. So we'll have to sort of wrap it up soon. Great to see you, Lisa. She will finish. And for those who read the thing that there's a cut-off time, remember it's only bots. So you get in there, Lisa, and make sure that West London ladies get some points. Because otherwise Twickenham are going to be far away. I didn't see Lisa West riding tonight, so I think Gail Robinson's 100 points minus Lisa's. That'll be interesting. Have a look shortly when I get the results up, because I think the gap may or may not. West London ladies may be able to hold on, but I doubt it. I think Twickenham are going to take the lead, depending on how many points Lisa gets, which will be quite a lot less than Gail. But let's have a look. That is going to be the interesting tussle. Just 2 races left in Monday Malarkey Series 2. Christmas Day, if you haven't heard, we are going to run a race around the velodrome, but we're not going to allocate any points to the series, because it's just like some people will be able to do it and some people won't. New Year's Day, look out for the announcements, but we're going to have a cute way of giving you some points, but not making it too penal if you can't make it on New Year's Day. Or, and this is a better excuse, if you've got a big hangover on New Year's Day and you don't really feel like you can win the race, just turn up and do it anyway, because we're going to come up with a formula that kind of doesn't prejudice people that have had a very good party on New Year's Eve. Watch out, it will be announced. You're on Monday Malarkey. Big thanks to ZMS, as always, superb production. We couldn't do it without them. It's what makes it, isn't it? Well done, Damon and the ZMS guys. Lovely to see everybody riding tonight, and well done, ECKD, on your record. We'll see you soon.